This class just does things. Hey everybody, Espira, and I'm breaking down Portalcraft for Shadowverse Worlds Beyond's first set, Legends Rise. Kicking it off with the bronze cards, we have Elise Electrifying Inventor. It is a 1-cost 1/1 with last words, add a Gear of Remembrance to your hand. Now, a lot of these cards have to do with the entire gear into master artifact strategy, so I think it's just best if we bring up the flow chart without having to go through every single thing over and over and over again. So in terms of what we're looking for in this artifact based strategy is that we're fusing our artifacts to eventually get into this beefy boss monster that is Master Artifact Omega. The 1-costs do nothing, but they do fuse and turn into 3-cost versions. In terms of 3 costs, we have Striker Artifact, which is a 5/1 with Rush, and then if you fuse of costs 1, 2, or 3, we'll be able to go into Ominous Artifact A, Alpha, Beta, or Yeta. On the flip side, the other 3 cost is Fortifier Artifact, which is a 1/5 with Ward. Similar fuse, if you fuse with 1, 2, or 3 costs, you're going to get Alpha, Beta, or Yeta. Moving on to the 5 costs, we have Ominous Artifact Alpha. At the end of the turn, it'll restore 3 defense to your leader. We've got Ominous Artifact Beta. At the end of your turn, deal 3 damage to the enemy leader. And then we've got Ominous Artifact Yeta. At the end of your turn, deal 3 damage to all enemy followers. Mini board wipe, mini damage ping, mini heal, and then if you fuse all 3 of those together, you get Masterwork Artifact Omega, a 10-cost 10/10 fanfare. Deal 5 damage to all enemy followers, restore 5 defense to your leader. That has Storm, Ward, and Aura. Alright, and with that context, let's continue to the rest of Portalcraft. You guys might not know it, but this is a brand new YouTube channel, so you guys love what we're doing here, subscribe button down there, be much appreciated. Returning to the bronze cards, we have Dirk Metal Mercenary, a 5-cost 5/5 with fanfare, summon a Fortifier Artifact. That is the 1/5 with Ward. So for 5, you'll get 6/10 of stats, 5 of which is Ward, not terrible. Then we've got Ironheart Hunter, a 2-cost 2/2 fanfare, add a Gear of Ambition to your hand. That is the 1 cost that doesn't do anything. Evolve, select an enemy follower on the field and deal 3 damage to it. This is fine. You're probably still playing this potentially, just depending on how hard it is to get the gears to your hand to get all the way up through the combo. But nevertheless, having a tacked on 3 damage if you need it is fine. We've got Medical Grade Assassin, a 3-cost 2/2, and this is on the puppet side of things. Portalcraft does have 2 strategies you can lean into. You can either use puppets or you can go into the fuse Gurren Lagann strategy. Here for Medical Grade Assassin fanfare, add an enhanced puppet to your hand. Once on each of your turns when an allied puppetry follower enters the field, give it Bane. And then enhanced puppets are 1-cost 3/3s with Rush, and then at the end of the opponent's turn, destroy this card. So they'll linger around for a little bit, but then go away on their own. The first one that you play every turn while Metal Grade is on the board will have Bane, so we do like that added removal. Puppet Shield is a 3-cost spell, summon 2 copies of Enhanced Puppet. So again, for 3 costs, you're getting 6/6 in Rush stats. They'll go away by themselves at the end of the turn, but just having those stats is nice. Then we've got Artifact Recharge. So if you are playing the Master Omega Gurren Lagann strategy, then Artifact Recharge is something that you're gonna have to play, as it adds both a Gear of Ambition and a Gear of Remembrance into your hand. It's gonna be the most consistent way to start going up that fuse chain. Then we have Rukina Resistance Leader, a 4-cost 3/3, our first silver card. With fanfare, add a Gear of Ambition and a Gear of Remembrance to your hand. Evolve, summon a Striker Artifact. That is the 5/1 with Rush. Again, if you're going to be playing the strategies of the gears into the Omega, you're going to want to run most of these cards, especially the ones that add both of the gears, which is kind of the easiest way to get you into those 3s and then those 5s to be able to get you on that final form. And we've got Lovestruck Puppeteer back into the puppet strategies, a 2-cost 2/2 with fanfare, add a puppet to your hand. Regular puppets as opposed to enhanced puppets are 0-cost 1/1s as opposed to 1-cost 3/3s. And then on Evolve, replicate the effect of this card's fanfare ability, so on Evolve, you get yourself 2 puppets. Then we've got Noah Thread of Death, a 6-cost 5/6 with fanfare, add 3 copies of puppet to your hand, give all puppetry followers in your hand +1/+0. So now you have 3 0-cost 2/1s with Rush in your hand, which is really nice in terms of being able to push some damage onto the board. Moving on to our silver spell, we have Stream of Life. 2 costs, select an enemy follower on the field and deal it 3 damage. Add Gear of Remembrance to your hand. You're going to want that early removal. You're going to want those additional ways to be able to get Gears of Remembrances into your hand. Then we have Doomrite Resurgence. 5-cost spell, select 2 artifact followers in your hand that cost 5 or less. Summon an exact copy of each and give the exact copies at the end of your opponent's turn. Destroy this card. So this is a way that you're going to be able to get into those 5-cost artifacts for the Omega Fusion without having to deploy them and kind of waste them away. So you're still getting the ability to be able to get that board wipe, get the heal, get the rush, with the benefit of still being able to fuse those cards down the line. Shifting over to our gold cards, we have Miriam, the Resolute. 3 cost, 2/3 Fanfare, add a Gear of Ambition and a Gear of Remembrance to your hand. Again, every single card that kind of does this is something we're going to want to do. Evolve, replicate the effect of this card's Fanfare ability. Really solid. The fact that for one card you're able to get 4 gears in total does a lot of work by itself in terms of getting you through the flowchart. Then we have Sylvia, Garden Executioner. 6 cost, 5/5 Fanfare. Select the mode to activate. You can either draw 2 cards or restore 4 defense to your leader. We love modality here. Evolve, select an enemy follower on the field and destroy it. Super Evolve, just select 2 instead. Very nice. We love just how much this card is doing. Do we need to be able, are we ahead and we just need additional card draw? We can go ahead and draw the cards. Do we need to be able to stave off some of the aggression we've had up to this point? We can go ahead and heal. And then do we need to destroy one thing? Great. Do we need to destroy 2 things? All right, we still have that option as well. And of course, if we've evolved or super evolved, we can even attack into things. So it can do a lot of work on its own. Going all the way to 10 cost. Seen this card before, but just to retouch base on it, we have Liam, Crazed Creator, a 10 cost 8/8 with Fanfare. Summon 3 copies of Enhanced Puppet, so those are the 1 cost 3/3s. And on Evolve, give all allied puppetry followers on the field Ward and Last Words, deal 2 damage to the enemy follower. Of course, this combos with other puppets, so if you're able to play a 0 cost puppet before you play Liam, then that'll give you 4 puppets in total that all have Ward. You'll be able to deal a total of 8 damage to the opponent and potentially stave off for another turn. Next up, we have Alouette Doom Rider Ward, a 5 cost 2/4 Fanfare, add a Gear of Ambition and a Gear of Remembrance to your hand. Love these kinds of effects. And then Evolve, select an artifact follower in your hand that costs 5 or less and summon an exact copy of it. So you're getting a 2/4. With Evolve, you're potentially getting an additional, be it a 5/1 or a 3/5 or a 4/4. So depending on what you need. And I think the beauty of these abilities that are able to choose one of the artifacts in your hand and play them out is that you get the option of needing, do I need defense? Do I need to go a little bit aggressive right now? Do I need a board wipe? Do I need to heal? So that flexibility definitely helps you in terms of being able to gauge depending on what your opponent is doing. Then we've got Ancient Cannon in 5 cost Amulet with Fanfare, add a Gear of Ambition to your hand. Whenever you fuse, deal 2 damage to a random enemy follower. So definitely slow, but you can fuse the turn you put it down to deal 2 damage. Depending if you've done anything prior that your opponent had to answer, this does put you in a position where any future fuses are going to do a lot of work in terms of being able to help you just make the math make sense as you're trying to get things off the board to be able to get in that late game, especially when we have cards like the artifacts themselves, which can deal 3 damage or can rush for 5. So the benefit of being able to get that extra 2 in can make a lot of your board math afterwards a lot simpler. Kicking off our legendary cards, we have UD Maiden Reborn. A little bit disappointing that UD is a Portalcraft specific card and not just a generic card, given how much of a mascot she is to Shadowverse. But nevertheless, she's a 3 cost 3/3 with Fanfare, draw a card, so she'll replace herself. Then on Evolve, you get a Crest UD Maiden Reborn. Has countdown 3, and at the end of your turn, if you have 5 cards or less in your hand, draw a card. If you have at least 6, restore 1 defense to your leader. So the additional draw is nice. She's added consistency that is going to be very much welcome for a class like Portalcraft. And then if you're at exactly 5 cards by the time the crest counts down, you do get the additional draw and the heal, which is a nice little perk right there. Moving on to 8 costs, we have Orcus Newfound Heart, an 8 cost 5/5 with Fanfare, summon a Lloyd. Whenever an allied puppetry follower enters the field, give it Storm and Bane. And on Super Evolve, you get to summon 2 copies of Enhanced Puppet, giving you 2 3/3 Storm Baners. So they can be board control or they can be attacked right to the face. And then Lloyd is another puppetry trait follower, 3 cost 1/6 ward. Your opponent can't select any cards other than this one for abilities. So it has ability ward on top of having regular ward, which is really nice, especially when you consider that you have just a 5/5 kind of just chill in there that could potentially make it really annoying and potentially present more lethal towards your opponent on subsequent turns if it's able to live. And our final card for Portalcraft is Ralmia Sonic Boom, 8 cost 2/2. So better be good considering it's an 8 cost 2/2. Fanfare, select 3 artifact followers in your hand that cost 5 or less and summon an exact copy of each. And then Super Evolve, give all artifact followers on the field +1/+1. So while it is a 2/2, naturally if you play out all 3 of the 5/5s. Now you're getting to deal 3 damage, you're healing by 3, you're board wiping by 3. So at that point, you are getting a lot of stats of value, assuming you're at that point in the game. If you still have the 3 costs, well, at least you can have things like Striker Artifact that have some rushing pressure to clean up the board. While Side Games claims that the remake of this game is to provide an easier onboarding point for players, they've definitely pushed Portalcraft to being a little bit more cerebral. With that said, let me know what your favorite card from this class is in the comments down below, and I'll catch you guys on our next one.